Welcome back into the Sports Source. This segment of our program brought to you by Calhoun's. Summer means days on the lake, church picnics, family reunions, and I've got a way you can make them all easier from prep to cleanup. Call and order their Feed 5 or Feed 10 family pack this week, barbecue or ribs. Now, it used to just be barbecue. Now you can get ribs in this thing. Bread, beans, slaw, sauce, napkins, utensils, plates. They do the work, you do not. It's easier cleanup, easier prep work for sure, and great food. Picnics, reunions, outdoor activities, Calhoun's the place to go and call. That's my hand pointing at them. Now, there we go. See, there we go. All right. Guys, last segment we talked a little bit about the statement from Butch Jones that ticked some folks off. Andy Staples of Sports Illustrated ran through a long list of all the good things Butch Jones has done at Tennessee this week, okay? But he also, in writing it, seems to think that Jones hurts himself by not opening up and showing fans that he's upset, disappointed, hurt, etc., and that bad things happen. You know, it's like he won't admit that. He wrote, quote, "If Jones keeps going in front of microphones and denying the most basic of human emotions, he'll engender no empathy among the people whose money pays his salary." Overall, how much good do you think he could do himself if he could just be honest? He doesn't feel he can be because he doesn't feel he's getting credited enough for what he's done, is my view. So he doesn't want to give an inch because he's afraid people will take a mile. Aha, even he admits it, so let's fire him. Yeah. And I don't doubt that. How much, though, do you think he could help himself by saying what fans want to hear and what some of the media
haven't we already said he could do more harm than good? You know,
that's my thought.
The more he talks, I'm serious. Isn't it about like, what, 20% of the fan base maybe? No matter what you say, they're going to find something to either turn it around or point it out. So no, I disagree with that.
So you don't think he can help himself by talking more?
I think that'd be like the worst thing he could do in a way.
All right.
I'll throw this out, and we've talked about this before. Compare Jones to Rick Barnes. I think Rick Barnes has been very open, and I think that's helped him. I think that's really helped him with a kind of where the team is. I think that's helped Rick Barnes. But the question is, the difference, are we talking apples and oranges? Because of the expectations and the pressure on football.
Yeah, and let's see if Barnes has a year this year that people aren't in love with, and it's different in year 3. And there's already some of the same people who are against Jones are against Barnes. The joke online is, well, when he officially retires, like he's come here and he's not working. So there's some of that out there, but it's nowhere near the heat that's on Jones, obviously. Your thoughts on how much he can help himself? Because I know you feel he can. How much can he? I don't think he's capable of doing it. That's my issue. It's a good idea. I don't think he can pull it off. Do you?
Can's the interesting word there.
Yeah.
And I would say could have. And I've made the comparison, or several people have on this show. If Butch Jones were Brett Bielema's personality, if you reverse them, then Butch is viewed differently. At this point, I think it's about what do you do on the field. I don't think there's much that Butch Jones could have done at media days this past week. If Tennessee beats Georgia Tech, splits with Florida and Georgia, and you're 4-1, I think that's where the tune starts to change with Butch Jones slightly. I think it's on the field where you make the difference.
All right, Mike, I'm going to redirect here with a different question very quickly. I'll be honest, I don't care what coaches say. If you say something truly outlandish, we might talk about that comment. But we bring this up today because it becomes a story. I don't think it's a story. Maybe it's Twitter that changed it to where, oh my gosh, there's not a play call, there's not a game to criticize. I've got to have something that I can be critical of on my phone. It's been an hour since I've tweeted something nasty. Oh, finally, I can get into sentence structure from our coach. His syntax was off. I just think, to me, what a coach says, unless you're talking about a Bobby Knight who just repeatedly says crass, horrible things, I really don't care. I mean, Pete Carroll used to coach my favorite pro team. Great guy, terrific guy, but the team went backwards. I wanted him fired. I didn't care that he was a terrific, fun guy. Fire him, you know? So, and if somebody's a real jerk, like the guy who coaches my team now, don't care because he wins. So to me, this whole watching these performances at media days and caring what these guys say, I think it's overblown. Why am I wrong on that? Because I feel like I'm the only one in the world who feels that way.
No, I think you're right. I think you're right. I mean, listen, Derek Dooley was probably the most entertaining coach. I've sat there and listened to press conference after press conference, and he was funny. But listen, This is who Butch Jones is.
Yeah.
This is what it takes to take over a program that's on probation, that hasn't won a conference title in 14 years, that's a national butt-chugging embarrassment, and come to work every day and motivate those guys that they can be the ones to turn it around. It takes looking in the mirror every morning. It takes reading motivational books. It takes all this coach speak and Tony Robbins stuff. This is what's made Butch Jones this resilient. He's not going to dwell on last year. He's not going to show you the weak side because that's not who he is. It's not Mark Antonio. It's not Steve Spurrier. It's not Nick Saban. You want violins and all this crap? Go watch a soap opera, Staples.
But Spurrier
Jeez.
pouts. Like all these guys are different.
Well, Butch
By the way,
gets
I've
mad.
never-
He turns red. He
I've
goes
never
explosive.
understood. I've never understood how butt chugging gets tied into sports all the
Because
time.
it was the national.
It has
In
nothing to do-
Tennessee
it wasn't
was
the
one
football
problem
team that was
after-
doing it.
The
So,
program
anyway.
had one national embarrassment after another.
That wasn't the program.
Yeah.
That was the university. It had
The
nothing to do with the
university.
program. So let's not bring
Front
up the butt
porch of the
chugging on the
university.
show anymore. That's, guys drinking beer on campus. I think we could find morons in France all over.
Actually, it's wine. But
My point exactly. Thank you. All right. We got to catch a break. Somebody get the vino for Chuck down there. All right. When we come back, Butch Jones admits he could play two quarterbacks this year, which I think everybody and their brother knew. Now he said it. He says it's a good problem to have. Is it? Also, John Curry was asked about what makes a good year this season. We'll show you what he says, and we'll try and translate. Come on back.